First your heart goes cold.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living Lovestream. I'm Gina DiGirolamo. I'm the producer today, and I am so excited to have Bob and Shannon from Where the Light Gets In with us to start us off this morning. So we have a wonderful love stream prepared for you today. Our topic is just breathe. So everyone just take a breath in, relax, breathe in a lot of love. Reverend Elizabeth has a beautiful message for us. So with no further ado, I will give it to Bob and Shannon to take us away. Thank you.
First your heart goes cold, then your stare goes long. The fire in your eyes, the burning desire left long ago. You've been living your life for everyone else. You've been holding the weight of this whole wide world all by yourself. But these mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb. You were doing your best, but it was never enough to please the one in your head that scares you half to death, the one that doesn't exist. It's only up in your mind, the one that drains your cup and always puts you back at the end of the line. And these mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb. From the day you were born, your path was already known, and it was one hell of a climb. And yours to do was take it one step at a time. And these mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb. And these mountains, these mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb.
Wow. Thank you. So beautiful. We are climbing mountains right now, aren't we? Yes, indeed. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. And now I would like to read our affirmation for the day, and I invite you to please repeat after me. I breathe mindfully that I may intend, speak, and act as a spiritual maverick.
I breathe mindfully that I may intend, speak, and act as a spiritual maverick.
I do what is mine to do.
I do what is mine to do.
My consciousness makes a difference in manifesting a world that works for all.
My consciousness makes a difference in manifesting a world that works for all.
And so it is.
So it is.
And now I will turn it over to Travis, who will introduce our amazing musicians for today.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Travis, and I'm the musical director here at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. It is my honor to introduce Bob Sima and Shannon Plummer. Their ministry is called Where the Light Gets In. And boy, this ministry is busy. It's busy being relentlessly inspired. They've just released a new album called Good Words, Good Thoughts, Good Deeds. Their website has amazing ministry curriculum, educational curriculum, healing sessions are available, and beautiful recordings. Reverend Elizabeth, just bought us the USB thumb drive that has all of their music on it, and it's wonderful. They've been in constant rotation in our home, and so I invite you to visit their website at wherethelightgetsin.us and check out, see if any of their music calls to you. That last song that they just played, These Mountains, moves me. I am like deeply moved. Thank you so much for playing that. I also want to let our audience know right now on this Lovestream that Bob and Shannon are going to be doing a Facebook Live today at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we invite you to go check them out. Friend them on Facebook, find them, friend them, listen in on their beautiful music, and check out their ministry. It is my greatest honor to introduce to you now, Bob and Shannon. Thank you. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Brother Travis. So appreciate you and Reverend Elizabeth for having us back in here with you guys again. When we got the topic for today about breath, we had to share this song with you. It's called I Am Here, and it's a song about the sacred breath. It's a song about breath. Which is everything to us, and we teach breath work, and this is the soundtrack, I guess, to the work of breath work, of connecting to the presence of your breath. You can find me in the silence, I'll be breathing. It's the truest true, it's everything I believe in. Light dances before your eyes, a precious gift to be realized. It leaves you with an indescribable feeling that I'm awake, I'm alive, and I am here. And I'm awake, I'm alive, I am as the air moves in and out of me, I can feel it. It's the Buddha, the Mother Mary, and Holy Spirit. It's every book I've read, the single thread that gets me clear and out of my head, ties my body to my soul, and I'm always near it. And I'm awake, I'm alive, I am here. Sing it with us. I'm awake, I'm alive, I am here. And I have spent enough days just barely breathing. Shallow, hollow, empty, it left me feeling disconnected on overdrive, stressed and tempted to dole the ride, hints of joy, but they were often fleeting. Come on, sing it. I'm awake, I'm alive, I am here. day, and it's always just one breath away. And I'm awake, I'm alive, I am here. I'm awake, I'm alive, and I am here. As the air moves in and out of me, I can feel it. It's the Buddha, the Mother Mary, and the Holy Spirit. It's every book I've read, the single thread that gets me clear and out of my head. It ties my body to my soul, and I'm always near it. And I'm awake, I'm alive, and I am here.
Oh my God, you guys. Woo!
Thank you.
All right. Wow. Thank you so much. All right. Good morning, CSL and love streamers. And to those that you're watching on replay in the future. My name is Travis, and I'm doubling up as your announcements angel. And I believe we have birthdays. We're going to have Bob and Shannon come back in and sing us little birthdays to all the birthdays in June out there. We just want to send our love and appreciation, our birthday greeting. Bob and Shannon, will you take it away with a little
of
birthday
course.
song?
And we're going to do it a cappella, old school, just like
Okay.
we always do. All right?
Okay.
So everybody
Let's do
join
it.
us. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I will now read our mission statement. With everything we do, we aim to raise the vibe. We teach innovative spiritual practices and principles that inspire deeper love of self and others, transformation, a closer relationship with God, freedom from suffering, expansive joy, prosperity, and healing of the body, mind, and spirit. We are a conscious group of positive, inspired, spiritually motivated individuals transforming lives. We just happen to have a spiritual center. Want to check us out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's right. We are checking us out. I would like to invite you to please join us for a coffee and conversation at 11 a.m.-ish Pacific Standard Time via Zoom. Gina will provide the link in the comment section here, and you can also find it on our center's webpage in the coffee and conversation event. This is always fun, and possibly if Bob and Shannon have some time, they will pop in and you can love up on them in Zoom. Speaking of Zoom, we build our immunity and spiritual community. Remember to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. via Zoom for our spiritual connection call. You can find the link in our Facebook page under events. These check-in calls are a lifeline for those of us that are sheltering in place, that need a little, check-in with spiritual community. And that's where we build our immunity and spiritual community. Here's an announcement. Our Wednesday night service, Date Night with God, is on pause for now. We do love doing this, but we have some other pressing things like that are in the motion right now. So that one is on pause for now. And then we have also announcing a book study, which begins this Thursday, June 11th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The book is called White Fragility. All are welcome. Please pick up your audio or Kindle version on Amazon and read through the end of chapter 1. You want to please RSVP with Reverend Elizabeth in order to receive the Zoom link for the class. So that's White Fragility book study with Reverend Elizabeth. And that's Thursday, June 11th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Zoom. Don't forget to RSVP if you'd like to be a part of this. And then next Sunday, June 14th, our beloved musician is the amazing Laura Berman. So you won't want to miss this. This is going to be super fun. And lastly, if you're able, please remember to continue to donate to our center during this unique time. Our operations are fully supported by your generosity, and we're looking forward to gathering at our physical center in the future. You can donate here on Facebook Live with the donate button, if you wouldn't mind. Please, Gina will provide the PayPal link to donate in the comment section. You can also visit our website's landing page and click the donate link in the center of the page. That's cccSL.org. And thank you so much for your consideration. We love you. We thank you for your generosity in supporting this ministry. And that, my beloveds, has been the announcements.
All right. Thank you, Travis. Beautiful. And I just saw in the comments on Facebook that it's Mama Jody's birthday on June 27th. So that is Mama Jody. That's Travis's mother and my mother in love. And so I would now like to simply remind you that if there is anything weighing heavy on your heart for which you would like prayer for, or maybe there's something you're looking to manifest in your life, to please email us your prayers at info@cccSL.org. And I and our assistant spiritual director, Reverend Diane Davison, and Maria Bucaro, who is a licensed practitioner with us, will pray over them for the next week for you. And now, beloveds, it's my honor to introduce our dear friend, Charlie Carlin.
Hello, everybody. Today our reading is from How to Speak Religious Science by the Doctor of Divinity, Dennis Merritt Jones. And for those of you who've heard him, he's quite a speaker, and he's been in this religious science for a long time. To believe in a devil would be to believe in duality, or in other words, to believe that there could be God and some opposing power. There is no power for good and a power for evil. There's only one power, and it is God. There are people, however, who misuse the power. The only devil we shall ever know is that which appears as a result of our own negative thinking, which then creates a negative result. The devil is not a person, but an idea based on poor thinking. As we begin to get in touch daily with this perfect principle, we can then demonstrate it in our daily lives. Perfect God, perfect man, perfect being. This is the absolute truth. When we rise above that negative vibration of race thought by consciously focusing our awareness upon a higher reality, race mind cannot operate through one who is fully aware of God's presence in and around them. The realization that we are responsible for the thoughts we think, and thus can change these thoughts, is the beginning of our use of the law in a conscious fashion. Change your thinking. Change your life. Know this truth, and you are free to express your true self. And so it is.
It is. Thank you, Charlie, for that beautiful reading. So as we turn our intention inward and closing our eyes, I invite you just to sit back and relax, have your feet on the ground, and feel the top of your head, your crown, extending to the ceiling as we take a nice deep breath together. And just releasing. And as we breathe, we allow the energy of our crown to flow through each part of our chakra as it flows through our body and grounds us into our being, the sacred earth. And this energy renews our soul as we breathe in the breath of the divine source that is our breath. That breath that sources us with energy, with power, with courage, and with grace, as our breath is the breath of God within us. And as we move our breath into this tender time right now, we know that we are in a transformational time, and yet all life is transformational. But we allow our breath to move through our beingness, through our emotions, to carry us into a time that we can feel the healing of each and every one of us. And I know that as we stand on this sacred ground, it is really holy ground. So as we stand in this holy ground together, arm in arm, we lay down any form of separation. We lay down any form of otherness. And we lay down any form of fears as it blocks our divine wisdom. As love and only love embraces all and heals all. So as we breathe in unity, we breathe in mindfulness, and we breathe in divine justice. As we are awake, we are alive, and we listen. We listen to the divine within and the divine with others. And so as I celebrate our service today, I know that the breath that moves through me moves through each and every person out there. And it is the same breath that moves through Reverend Elizabeth as she inspires us with her words of wisdom, her high consciousness of understanding, as she allows us to have a better understanding of this transformational time. And she also inspires us from this moment to the next moment. I know that she is speaking to each of us individually. And with a grateful heart, we have been so blessed with our divine musicians, Bob and Shannon, as they have shined their light on all of us and in our service today. I'm grateful for Travis, our musical director, and Gina, our producer, and Charlie, our spiritual reader, and each and every one of you out there today. We are so blessed to have you watching us today. And so today we go back to that breath again and again and again as we carry it with us, reminding us daily that life is good in all of its manifestations. And so with a grateful heart, I gracefully release my words with abiding faith, trusting the creative process, and I let go lightly. And we say all together, and so it is.
It's been a long day, be a longer night. It's been a long day, be a longer night. And I just wanna breathe. a good run, your rise to the top. Been 1,000 miles since your last rest stop. Been a lot of putting offs and figure it out somehow. A lot of maybe whens, but never right nows. And I just wanna breathe. When you do those things, when you do those things that you do, will you run the risk of leaving no time to
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you so much. It's such an honor and pleasure to have you back with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, so everyone, let's take in a deep breath together right now. And another one. And one more. Wow. So, welcome. We're broadcasting to you here live today from San Luis Obispo, California, in our condo. And the theme for the month of June is mindfulness for Mavericks. And the topic for today is just breathe. And it is a beautiful day. And I'm so very grateful that we have Where the Light Gets In with us again, sharing their magnificent beautiful creation, and their music is outstanding for these times that we're in. And I'm also grateful for Charlie, who is located in Atascadero, and Reverend Diane in Los Osos, and Gina, who is currently in Las Vegas. It is so good that we get to collaborate like this and bring you a service that is meaningful and important in these times. And so I'm grateful to be here with you. And the reason and context for this talk today is that breathing is life. It is life sustaining itself with the ebb and flow of each inhalation and exhalation. And breathing is also a method or technique that helps us to process, shift, and evolve. So we are told to breathe and count to 10 whenever we feel anger. The vocalist will breathe in a particular way to give rise to the song that will be sung. And if you consider the pregnant mother who is taught to breathe in a specific manner that will aid her in the process of childbirth. And then there's the meditator, and the meditator is invited to connect with their breath as a way of centering and letting go of thoughts and becoming totally present and available to the divine. And if we look at the story in Genesis, where Ruach, the breath of God, made Adam a living soul, we see the reminder that spirit breathes itself as life. Breathing and the concept of the breath are equally important for life and the idea of living life fully. When we breathe in a shallow manner, we are cheating the body of nutrients. So many times, the first answer in the midst of the trauma and drama of the moment is to just breathe. And I'm so grateful to our community member, Karen Robert, who is watching here today. Hello, Karen. Good morning. And it is sort of her signature thing to place her hand over her heart and breathe. And so she brings that. That is a huge gift that she has brought into our community. And on our check-in calls, a lot of us have adopted this hand over heart, breathe. And it's so useful in between sharing too on our Zoom calls. There's powerful, deep sharing. And so taking that breath allows us to be totally present and in the moment before we go on moving into the next thought or the next word or the next conversation or the next share, right? It's like stop and take a breath and center and be present. There's a presence with that breath, is there not?
No.
Yes, there is. Oh, yes. And so before I go any further, I would like to acknowledge the LGBTQIA plus community and recognize that we're in June, and June is Pride Month. And in the context of this talk and in the outline, the person who put together this outline said that they were reminded of the feeling of coming out and the moment that a deep breath is taken in order to say what needs to be said. So as I imagine that and all of the feelings and the varieties of fears and emotions and knowing that just beyond those words are liberation and a standing in the power and the presence, right, is powerful, very powerful. So breathing gives power and voice to one's authenticity. Now, when I first saw this topic, I was beside myself because it was like not beside myself in a good way. I was like the first thing I thought of was George Floyd and I can't breathe. And those 3 words were his last 3 words. And so to have the topic here today be just breathe is challenging is the word that I'm looking for. But all of it's important and we're addressing it here today. But what I really want to take the time to address with you is more about George Floyd, because it's affecting me and I know it's affecting all of you, because if we're a part of this center, it's pretty certain that we are empathic on some level. Some people are more empathic than others, and what that means is that you feel the feelings. So we're feeling the feelings of the world, and we're feeling the feelings of right now the injustice and the unfair treatment and that experience that George Floyd must have had while he was there on the ground. So what occurred for me yesterday while I was preparing my sermon was that we have adopted this word protesters as an acceptable description of the individuals who are marching for justice and anti-racism. And I decided in that moment I was going to no longer call them protesters, because in my mind they are not protesting. They are the champions. They are the promoters. They are the supporters, the allies, and advocates for justice. And they are the ones ushering us into a new paradigm. So on Wednesday, and I shared some of this in my check-in with my community, but on Wednesday, I went for my daily jog and I was jogging really fast. Like I suddenly reached a new zone in my ability to jog and I was jogging fast. I surprised myself at how fast I was jogging. But as I was jogging, I was hearing the chant of the crowds of champions for justice reverberating in my mind. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. And Black Lives Matter. And hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. And it was so powerful, and it was causing me to run faster. And then I remembered that not all people have the privilege of running in their neighborhoods without fear. And this just kept going through my mind. And then I came back to my home office to work. I have a day job. I work in IT. And about an hour later, I learned that a group of these champions for justice were marching right down my street. right down my street. So I ran out and I took a video of them with my iPhone and I posted that video to my Facebook profile. It was powerful. It was so powerful. And I was being pulled to them. I noticed I was being pulled like a magnet. I wanted to just jump in there and march with them like, yes, no justice, no peace. And I had to get back to work. But I had to literally pull myself away from them to get back to work. Now, I wanted to share with you that I wasn't pulled to them like a magnet because of mob mentality or, oh, yes, the mob is powerful, I've heard. It was on a soul level. Like this soul that has a body agrees wholeheartedly with this movement, 100%. And that was the part of me that was called. So Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. Black lives matter. See, I'm going to come back to this in a few minutes because that has been a question and there's been a lot of postings on Facebook around that, and I want to help us get some clarity for that. So I was deeply moved at that protest. There was a Black woman who, well, it wasn't a protest. It was a champion for justice. The demonstration is what it was. It was a demonstration for justice. And as I stood on that corner out there, a Black woman came running up to the stop sign, and I'm standing there with my little iPhone filming it. And she's got her towel wrapped around her head, like in the turban, you know, when you just get out of the shower. And she's wearing, I look and she's wearing like a nightgown and a robe. And so she's there and she's looking and she says, oh, bless your beautiful souls. Thank you, God. Just like that. And I got the God bumps all over my body, right? I felt that. And I looked at her and I just felt so much love in my heart, so much love. And I turned off my phone and put it in my pocket. And I told her, you matter. You matter. And she started crying. And then I started crying. And it was so beautiful. And she said, thank you. Thank you. And then I, again, had to tear myself away and come back into work. And I felt in that moment, it's that easy. It's that easy, you guys. You matter. So what they were chanting that day was, Black lives are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Black lives are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Black lives are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Now I'm telling you, I can't get this chant out of my mind. It's been reverberating in my mind ever since. So I want to say I'm with you, my friends, Black people. I see you. I hear you. I care about you. And I'm getting to work with my rigorous self-education. This is mine to do. This is mine to do, and I'm doing it. So each of us should be asking ourselves that same question. What is mine to do? What is mine to do? And then do it. So what I'm also very aware of during these times is that there are so many individuals out there who want to go out and protest. They're called to do it, yet they have concern and they are being discerning, and rightfully so. There are still individuals who are vulnerable and at risk for picking up COVID-19 because we're also in a pandemic, and so those concerns or body limitations or COVID-19 concerns with physical distancing are real, and those should be honored. And you can get into action by joining us this week on Thursday, June 11th, starting at 6 p.m. And we're going to begin our book study on white fragility. This is the way that you can begin. And this is hard work, you know? The champions for justice, marching for justice, that is hard work. And This is equally hard, but there's not one thing that is better than the other, right? We all have a part to play. And so, what is mine to do? What is yours to do? Now, I want to share with you that I have reprioritized my schedule. I have reprioritized it in order to facilitate this book study. So, as such, we will not be holding our Wednesday evening service until further notice. And we, as a community, will be focusing on ending racism in our way. Now, do you need to shuffle and reprioritize too? This matters. This is important. I hear them asking me to do something. Do you hear them too? They're marching down my street. They marched by my home to get my attention. They have my attention. So back to the Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. So some folks are hearing this Black Lives Matter and it's really bothering them because what about oneness? You know, we are all one and all lives matter. Don't all lives matter? Yes, all lives matter. And right now we need to make it very clear and be very clear, loud and clear that Black Lives Matter. And I love this example from Luke 15 of the Bible that illustrates it so perfectly. It's the parable of the lost sheep. Now, the shepherd, it says, has 100 sheep and one sheep goes missing. So Jesus goes after the one sheep, but the other 99 sheep say, well, what about us? Don't we matter? Of course, the other 99 still matter, but they are not the ones in danger. The one is. And so he's going after that one sheep. And so that's where we are with Black Lives Matter. Everyone matters. All lives matter. Absolutely. But right now, these are the ones in danger. They're the ones asking for our help. They're the ones marching down my street. I mean, it brings tears to my eyes because have you ever just wanted to be heard? Have you ever felt that where like, but I'm not being heard and you just want to be heard? So let's breathe. Again. And one more time. Thank you, beloveds. So back to breathing. Now, some of you know this, but some of you do not. I hiked Mount Whitney in a day about 8 years ago, and it was one of the greatest accomplishments of my life, and it was hard. It was very hard. So Mount Whitney, for those of you that don't know, is the highest peak in the contiguous United States at 14,505 feet. And it is a 22-mile round trip hike. And I chose to hike it in one day. There's a book. I bought the book, read through it, planned it, went through the steps and showed up one day with 3 or 4 of my friends. I think there were 3 others, and we were going to do this. So we went to bed at 5 p.m. the night before and woke up at 1 a.m., got out on the trail with our headlamps, and it reminded me of Disneyland, the characters zippity-doo-dah out there dancing around. And so we got going, and the elevation gain is 6,100 feet. So I had just returned from the AIDS Life Cycle bike ride that year, and that was a 565-mile bike ride from San Francisco to LA. So I was trained. I was ready for this. I was fully prepared, and I wasn't going to not do it. Like, this was my chance. And so my friends, I think it was about 6 miles in, they dropped out, but I kept going. I kept going because, again, I wasn't coming back. I knew I wasn't coming back. It was now or it wasn't going to happen. And so onward I went. And they had the food and they had the extra water. They actually had the water filter. But I knew I would be okay and I would be taken care of. And I kept going. I was like, I got this. So later I learned that their concern was the altitude sickness. They were starting to get lightheaded and not feel good. And I had something in my toolkit, though, because I had been practicing Bikram yoga for the last couple of years pretty regularly at the time. And I had pranayama breathing in my toolkit. And so I remember when I started to get higher up, I would feel about every 1,000 feet of elevation gain, I began to get a slight headache. And so I would stop and practice breathing. And I would do this. So the pranayama breathing is 6 seconds of inhale and 6 seconds of exhale. And the 6 seconds of inhale is through your nose. And then the 6 seconds of exhale is through your mouth. And there's some other hand and arm postures, but the main point being the breathing part. So it's 6 on the inhale and 6 on the exhale. I'm going to invite you to do that with me. 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 4, 5, 6. So I sat there and did these over and over again. And then I would feel fine. The headache went away. I had enough oxygen and onward I went. It was so powerful. And I surprised myself, right? Do you ever surprise yourself? Like, oh, wow, I just did that. That's cool. And then I kept going. And that is another common phrase that we're all using right now. Keep going, keep going. Practice this breathing. Keep practicing that breathing. And another thing I learned in Bikram yoga was to breathe through my nose. So you would have the tendency of getting into a difficult pose. And in Bikram yoga, the room is heated up. So first of all, it's challenging on the muscles, and then you're sweating and hot, and then there's emotions that come up, and it's intense, right? And so if you can focus though on your breath and breathe in deeply through your nose and exhale out your nose also, then you begin to relax. And so it's like this. And you can do that anytime. So I started doing that as well, right before a nap or before falling asleep. If I have excessive thoughts happening and I would need some quiet, or anytime I just need to find my center, can practice that breathing. So the pranayama breathing got me up to the summit of Mount Whitney. And the part about inhaling through my nose and exhaling through my nose that I learned in Bikram yoga was very crucial for me in my moments of feeling anxiety. Breathing in and breathing out, it gives you a strength that is incomparable to anything, and it works every time. It works every time. And so I was so happy to get to the top of Mount Whitney. I was by myself, and I had enough time to check in on Facebook to the shelter at the top, and it was an outstanding experience. And a man and his son came running up to me, and they said, "You did it! You did it!" And they came out and gave me a big hug. And then they offered to pace with me on the way back down because my permit was only for one day and so was theirs, and we needed to get off of that mountain. And so I paced with them all the way down, and the hike actually took 22 and a half hours in total. But the way I got through it and the way I got through the altitude issues were through breathing and through practicing breathing. So how powerful is that? Now we can use this tool all the time in any situation. And to be honest, I know there are so many of us in this moment and in the last couple of weeks, frankly, the last 2 months, right, since March, to mid-March, where we've had anxiety, and that is that's okay. It's understandable, and we can move through that anxiety through practicing these deep breaths. So I know I'm definitely committed to practicing a deeper level of breathing for at least this next week. Now, I wanted to talk to you a little bit today as well about Ho'oponopono. So I mentioned that last week, and Joe Vitale has a book called Zero Limits, and he interviewed a therapist who is in Hawaii. His name is Dr. Haleakala Hugh Lin, and this doctor actually helped heal the criminally insane, if you can imagine that. These individuals who worked at this institution didn't even want to come to work. It was so challenging, and they were so horrified by the experience of the criminally insane that they started calling in sick, and it was hard to keep it staffed. So Dr. Lin came in, and he would sit in his office and review the patient files. He never saw any of the patients himself, but he saw their files. And so he sat with their files and reviewed them, working on himself. So as he worked on himself, the criminally insane patients began to heal. Those who previously required shackles were unshackled. Those who were heavily medicated were getting off of their medications. And those who had no chance of ever being released were set free. So Dr. Lin said that this was done by him healing the part of him that created them. He took total responsibility for everything that showed up in his life. And so that is what we are being called to do with Ho'oponopono. And so Ho'oponopono is those 4 statements that I'm going to share with you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Now, we're going to use that here in a moment. I wanted to share sort of the backstory on that with you, how Dr. Lin, this wonderful therapist, took responsibility for everything that showed up in his life. Terrorist activity, the president, the economy, anything that he experienced that he didn't like was up to him to heal. The problem isn't with them, it's within us. And so he was very clear about that. And I love that. The problem that we're seeing out there needs to be healed within us. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by practicing Ho'oponopono. And you can bring up any individual you desire in your mind's eye. It might be a Ho'oponopono that you do towards yourself. It's affecting yourself anyway. You can bring up George Floyd, and you can bring up the individuals who were involved, the police, and it's going to be challenging. Nobody said this is easy work, right? But it is work that we can each do to help ourselves create love and forgiveness, because ultimately we're going for love. We're going for love, you know? And so I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Will you say that with me? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. One more time. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. See how that feels, and the shift that occurs within you as you allow yourself to be present to the love that lives within you, which is God's love. You feel that? Yeah, it's good. It's very good. And so this week I heard Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. I certainly love him. I heard him sharing something on social media about the higher perspective, and how from the higher perspective, we're in a deep cleansing, which means that we're in a great clearing, that there is an old paradigm that is dying, and there is a new paradigm that is birthing. And so the old paradigm that is dying is holding on, right? And I can relate to that in my own life, you know? It's like you want to give up sugar, but you're just going to have that one donut. And I make light of it, but the old paradigm is dying and it wants to stay alive. And so there's messiness and we're seeing it. And everything we're seeing on the news is a part of the old paradigm. And that old paradigm is being released. And so we're watching it be destructed. And so what we are called to do as spiritual beings having a human experience and souls with bodies is recognize that. Recognize that, my friends. Don't fall into the hype of what's happening on the news. And by that, I mean, don't allow yourself to get wrapped up into it. It's a distraction. It's the old paradigm dying. We don't need to give the energy to that. What we are called to give the energy to is what kind of world is it that is a world that works for everyone? What kind of world? What does it feel like? What is the experience of it? The other day we watched the movie Just Mercy, and I heard the crowds chanting, "No justice, no peace, no justice, no peace." And I guess I didn't fully understand. I mean, intellectually, yeah, I get that. You can't have peace if you don't have justice, right? And then I watched that movie, Just Mercy, and I really embodied that. At the end, there is justice. Sorry, spoiler alert. There is justice at the end. And then with that justice was this overwhelming sense of peace. Like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. And so justice and peace go hand in hand. And I took that and I internalized that justice. And so I internalized that so that I could feel justice and peace and begin to imagine what a world looks like and feels like moving through it as justice and peace hand in hand as our reality. And so I also loved and thank you, Gina, or whoever just put in the comments about Just Mercy. You can view that movie for free right now for the month of June. It's available on Amazon, YouTube, and several other outlets for you. But another thing that Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith shared that was powerful for me was he said it's our task to bring the timeless into time. And he talked about, we're in a state of turbulence right now and everything is in flux. Like everything is up, right? There's racism, there's superiority, there's hate, there's death, there's mayhem, police brutality, there is politicizing of COVID-19. And it's all part of this old paradigm that's just trying to hold on. And the fear-based ways of life are regularly being reported to us on the news, but we're not buying it. We're not buying that. And so we're called to bring the timeless into time. And we do that by connecting with the cosmos. So we are, from the universal perspective, we are connecting with the timeless. We are connecting to the ideas, the solutions, and the spiritual prototypes that exist in the universal, in the cosmos. And we are called to go there as souls with bodies. We are called to go there and bring those solutions and ideas back into time. And the way that we do that is through our spiritual practice. So we are called, my friends, to meditate more so than before, to get into our prayer, to get into not only into action what is mine to do, but to pray and to meditate and bring these timeless ideas back into time, which is here right now. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So that might be different for everyone, bringing that timeless ideas. We're going to begin to see a resurgence of art and music and a lot of different aesthetic art forms, that are new, part of the new paradigm. So I'll talk more about that later, but I invite you to please consider that and take time to be with what that is for you. What is this new paradigm? Stop focusing on the old paradigm. We see the racism. And part of what is ours to do is to talk about it and to not be afraid of talking about it. And that is why, one of the reasons why we're kicking off this book study on Thursdays, starting this Thursday, White Fragility, to begin talking about it and to be the light workers and to be those who are ushering in the new paradigm. We're done with the old paradigm. Can I get an amen?
Amen. We're
How
done.
about
We're done with it.
we're done with the old paradigm? And how about an and so it is for
And
Charlie?
So it is.
How about a yes? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So in closing, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Breathing is a sign of life. Inhalation is also called inspiration, and exhalation is also called expiration. When you say that someone has expired, it means the person has expelled air for the last time. They have stopped breathing and they are dead. And controlled breathing can bring you into balance. When you change your breathing, you can change your life. So when it comes to ending racism, please ask yourself, what is mine to do? And then do it. And specifically, when you ask yourself that question, if it comes up, it's yours to join this book study, book discussion group on Thursday. I'll see you there. I'm looking forward to it. As amazing as you are, it's time for us to close. I could do this all day, but I'm going to invite Travis up now to join. We had to do a little shuffle. We've got our stage here. So thank you, Travis. And we're going to move into our closing prayer. And yeah, I invite you in this moment to take anything off of your lap if you're sitting down, and just get ready to receive this prayer. Get ready to connect to the universal presence. And I'm so grateful in this moment for the opportunity to turn my attention inward and return to that beautiful, expansive space within, which is the space where I absolutely know that God is all that there is. It's all that there ever was and all that there ever will be. And it is in me, as me, and through me, just as it is in, as, and through each individual here. And it's not in me or in us like jelly is in a donut, but it's in us and as us, like we are made from this stuff. We are made in the image and likeness. We are made of the essence. And it is the essence of love, the essence of beauty, the essence of joy, harmony, connection, oneness. I remember in this moment that there is nowhere that God is not, and that God is right here in the midst of all of this. And so as we place our attention on that presence, on that love, we get connected with the cosmos. We get connected with the divine idea. We get connected with what is trying to be birthed right now. What is this new paradigm? And what does it look like? What does it feel like? And if we get nervous or anxious about it, we stop and breathe. We stop and take deep breaths. And in taking that deep breath, we are refocused and recentered. And so in that recentering is that reconnecting, and the hose is unkinked. I have a direct line to spirit all the time. I can never be separate from it. Only in my thinking. It never turns away from me. I may turn away from it, but it never turns away from me. And so I am committed. And I know that each individual here is committed to turning our attention toward this presence, turning our attention toward the thing itself, and becoming a channel. We are receptive and available to hear about the new paradigm and what we are called to bring into it. What is mine to do? That is the question each one of us asks on a daily basis, because it can always change and shift too. What is mine to do? And then we release the things that aren't to be done in this moment, and it is okay. So I'm grateful for the reprioritization. I'm grateful for knowing that, yes, Black lives matter and all lives matter, but right now we're focusing on Black lives. And I'm so grateful in this presence of love, in this presence of peace and wholeness, prosperity and generosity and selfless service and forgiveness. I know all of this is permeating the environment right here, right now, that as we practice Ho'oponopono, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, that this channel opens up to a greater degree, and there is a greater degree of love available for us to express and to receive, and that it's not ours to feel sorry for anybody. That is a powerless way to be. What we are is standing in the truth, standing in the championing for justice. And as we do so, we are totally in alignment with our highest self. We are in alignment with the cosmos. We are in alignment with the global vision by Centers for Spiritual Living. We are in alignment with our vision at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, which is that we exist to raise the vibe. We're raising the vibe and stepping into our good. And so I'm grateful to know that something good is coming of this, even though it may not seem like it. Even amidst the chaos all around me, I see and I feel God right in the midst of it. And it's powerful. And so I know and claim for each one of us that as we move forward from here, we feel and sense the presence of God, or whatever name you call it, the divine, spirit, source energy, Buddha, Jesus, Allah, whatever the name is that you call it, that you stand in the presence of that and you feel that presence and know that it is doing its work. And something good is coming of this. There is a new paradigm being birthed, and we are a part of it. We have been birthed into existence for such a time as this. There are no accidents. These souls are here, each one of us, you, me, Travis, everyone watching right now and listening. We are here by divine appointment. Where the light gets in, Reverend Diane, Charlie, Gina, BJ, the entire Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. We're here. We are here ushering in this new paradigm, and we're available. And it feels good to be available to that. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to be a stand together in this community of like-minded souls who are for justice and peace. And I also speak my word in this moment for all of the individuals in our community who are lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, the LGBTQI plus, anyone in our community. And I know we have some in our community, individuals who identify with this group, and I love you. I honor you. I see you. I hear you. And I know that God loves you exactly as you are, just as I and we do. And it wouldn't change one thing about you, and neither would I, and neither would we. We celebrate you. We celebrate you during this month of June, this month of Pride. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being who you came here to be. Thank you for using your breath. I'm so thankful. I feel a little bit weepy right now in that gratitude and in that love. I remember that we are one. There is one thing happening, and it is good. So thank you, God, for this goodness. Thank you for this day. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And with so much gratitude and appreciation for all that is and for all that is yet to be, I send this prayer out into that loving and creative action of the law where I know it is done. And I invite you to help me anchor this truth by saying with me, and so it is. Woo!
With your eyes wide shut in the still of the night, we sit and hold the vision. When the fears burn wild, we don't run and hide. We see a world with no division. We see with one love, one heart, one drum beating to a song that's singing us home. We dance in white light under the starlight. We are the sacred seeds of the sound of all. And we say, Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. And we say, Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. Well, in your eyes I see my other side, your perfectly clear reflection. There are no others, there's only one mother. She's taking us in one direction. Love is our weapon, music our religion. Peace is our power, peace is our mission. We don't separate or dominate. We appreciate and celebrate. And we say, Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. And we say, Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We can go higher, higher, higher still. Hands up in the air. We can go higher, higher, higher still. And we can get louder, louder, louder. Yes, we will. We feel the power in the presence. It's the all, it's the essence. And in it we own this space. We don't get lost in thought or drown in the drama. We're the guardians of this place. We see with one love, one heart, one drum beating to a song that's singing us home. We dance in white light under the moonlight. We are the sacred seeds of the sound of all. We say, Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. And we say, Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers.
Wow.
Woo!
Woo! We are the movers. We are the shakers. We are the peacemakers. Yes.
Holy smokes.
Wow, that is one of my favorite songs. Thank you so much. And in the comments, I know you two aren't reading the comments as they're coming in, but people are saying, turn it up. Yeah. So, yes, thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, I want to remind you that Where the Light Gets In, Bob and Shannon have a Facebook Live today at 12 p.m. So that'll
Pacific time.
Pacific time.
3
Yes.
p.m. Eastern time if you're out there.
And so, so we are Pacific time, and that's 12 p.m. right after our coffee and conversation call. So if you are inclined to join and feel some more of that love, heck, why not, right? Yeah, go check them out. We're going to go, aren't we?
Yeah,
we're going to go. We're going. Okay, so it is now time for our gifts, tithes, and offerings. And I would like to thank you for your generosity and your donations. It is very important for us to continue to receive donations. We enjoy bringing you this message and other opportunities to connect during this time, and we are also looking forward to having a center to return to once things have transformed and we are in the new paradigm, right? So I invite you to see Gina has placed in the comment section, there's PayPal donate. So you can donate by going to paypal.me/CCCSL love. You can also donate right here on the Facebook stream. There's a little donate button. That's easiest. And that will be available for the rest of the day too, if you don't want to do it right this second. So thank you for thinking of us, and thank you for your generosity and support. It matters. It makes a big difference. Now, the giving affirmation, please repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
I send it forth to heal and bless and
I
prosper.
send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It does great work in the world
It does great work in the world
and returns to me multiplied
and
abundantly.
returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And so it is.
So it is.
Woohoo! Okay, thank you so much, beloveds. And won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always, and all that you ever need to do is look within. And it is here you will find you are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. And please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my
Life
relationships.
is in my relationships.
Life is everywhere.
Life is everywhere.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I express it.
I express it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is not.
And just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Woo! Yes.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you, Bob and Shannon. Yes, where the light gets in. Woohoo!
We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers, and we say, Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om.
So beautiful.
We say, Aho,
Thank you so much.
Aho.
Beautiful, Bob and Shannon. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll post personally our Zoom link for coffee and conversation. Bob and Shannon, will you be able to jump in for a few minutes to join us? Okay, great. All right. Well, then we'll see you all over there. Thank you so much. Reverend Elizabeth, any last words? You all good?
Love you. Thank you so much. Blessings. Stay strong.